Sunshine says, thank you for $5, Sunshine. In CGI videos, it's commonplace now in high-end software to have FPV-style effects, or is it still a choice of filmmaker? Example in live chat. I don't know. I don't know how common it is.
I reposted the video for you.
Okay, let's take a look. I'll mute this. So what do we got here? An FPV style, like a camera move. Oh, interesting. So this is CG, so the camera could do anything it wants. And they are emulating drone-style shots. That's really interesting. I don't think that's common. But this is clearly inspired by FPV-style camera moves. Maybe the pilot or the camera guy is... Yeah, FPV moves. That's Sunshine's clip. Interesting. I don't think it's that common. But it's going to get more common. Black Rocket, thank you for 110... Turkish lira. Thank you for 110 Turkish lira. Now, my Happy Model Super B F4 Lite ELRS got really poor reception of only about 20 meters. Using your ELRS settings. Okay, my ELRS settings shouldn't make you affect your range like that, though. If you're getting reception of only about 20 meters, I would check the antenna on the receiver first. There is no combination of ExpressLRS settings that should give you 20 meters of range. That's almost certainly a bad receiver or a bad antenna. Like nothing. You could be at 1,000 hertz at 10 milliwatts and you should still get more than 20 meters of range. So, yeah, that's probably bad hardware. There is a test. There's a test. I've mentioned this on live streams before, but in case you missed it, there is a test. If you go to this web page, expresslrs.org, quick start pre-first flight, and here is the bench test. I'm going to link this in the chat in case you're watching, and right there in the chat. And you can test and sanity check your hardware. Sketsix, thank you for a $5 super chat. Or Sketsix, thank you for a $2 super chat. Wait a minute. What are you doing? Blunty, is there anything else from Sketsix that's another question?
I didn't see. Okay. I did not see it. And you have another one after that, which I'm not able to type those characters in. Wasn't able to find out to copy it.
We got a €2 super chat from a, I think that's Greek. And we're not sure if you have a question asked. And Black Jungle, thank you for, we can't search because of the Greek characters, unfortunately, to find if you've asked a question. And then we've got Black Jungle, thank you for 5 reais, working on a sciencey quad here. For flight time, I am looking for big props, low pitch, and low KV. Yes, sir. The larger the prop diameter you can use, that's the #1 way to increase efficiency. Okay, and we are caught up on the super chats and can go back to the regular chats. And I'm just going to take this one right off the top. This question from Jimmy P, who says, I am new at this hobby. I will buy a Mob 6 RTF to learn to fly. Does the goggles work for myopic people, or how do you handle this problem? For the box goggles that come with the bind and fly kits, usually if I take my glasses off and I pop the lens out, if the goggles don't have a lens in them, it's no problem because you just put them, they're just like 3 inches from your eyes, so it's no big deal. If you're nearsighted, you can see. If you absolutely need glasses, sometimes you can fit your glasses inside the goggles, or sometimes you may need to actually like buy a very, very small set of glasses to fit inside there. But most of the time with the box goggles, they don't have a lens inside, so you just put them on your face and you're fine. Or if they do have a lens, you can pop the lens out, and that means that they'll work okay. What are the best props for a 5-inch, 750-gram drone? Choporo 200. There is no single answer to that. right? It just depends, like, on what you're trying to do. Like, I think that most people would say a safe choice is something like the Ethics line of props are very good props from HQ. The Gem Fan, like the 51477, is like a solid all-around choice. But the best props, like some people would say, no, you need a 5.1 inch prop. Some people would say, no, a 4.9 inch prop is more responsive. And it really just depends on like what style of flying you're doing and other things. For example, if you live at 10,000 feet above sea level elevation, you actually will want certainly like a 5.1 inch prop and a high pitch prop, because the thin air at the higher elevation is going to make it harder for your motors to make thrust. You know? So there are various choices here, and there is no single best. But there are some good all-around recommendations, which I gave.
Also, just a reminder, props are cheap in relative terms to the drone, so it's not a bad idea to try to grab a few and see what you
different things.
Brandon Something people don't...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Something people also don't consider is elevation actually matters too. It's 15% less thrust when you're a mile up. So like say you're flying in Denver versus sea level. So, people might like props for those reasons too. Maybe they like more thrust because they're in somewhere that's higher or something like that. So.
Yeah, good point. Brandon Bean says, I use the HQ Prop R37 racing prop for freestyle. I actually also really like, is it the R37? Or is it the... What's this one? The R38. So I love these R38 props. I will go through a whole day of racing and not change these props. And to me, that also makes them an exceptional freestyle prop. These HQ R38s, I think they need more credit. They're fantastic props. Like for me, durability is one of the major concerns. Okay. And Lucas Whitaker asks a similar question. And Lucas, I want to acknowledge your question and basically say it's the same answer that I just gave. Okay. Newt McFly wants to know, is it possible to put the Radiomaster boxer LEDs on a switch to turn them on and off? So Newt, the answer is no, but maybe yes. No is the answer because there is no, the Radiomaster LEDs, the gimbal LEDs, they just plug into a 5-volt output on the board. And there's no way to turn that, to switch that output. However, if you were to just sort of splice a switch into the wiring and install the switch somewhere on the radio, you could even cut one of the wires going to one of the factory switches, right? And then splice the power to the gimbals into that switch so you could flip the switch from external, or you could drill a hole into the case of the boxer and install a new switch, which you could flip to turn the gimbals on and off. It would be pretty easy to splice that into the 5-volt output, but there's no factory way to do it.